And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the top 16 for the Marvel Rivals Clash. This is going to be for the Asia region because this region does not get enough love, and we have a lot of very incredible teams and incredible players that have been playing in the server. Two teams right now in front of our screens, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be your host and, of course, Caster, aggressive to bring you all of the action. Sadly, these matches will not be streamed out, but I do believe that I picked out a good one for you all. It's going to be like XBE going up against Zephyr. A lot of big names here and a lot of people that have farmed me in rank as well. So let's see how the draft has been going out for them. Remember, in Asia, there are a bunch of one tricks and a lot of players that have very strong champion pools that can allow them to really counteract a lot of the much more stronger meta lineups that we could have in a particular instance in any game. So talking that over, you can already see that the draft is leaning a little bit more towards the strengths of the side of BelikeXBE, especially with not having that strong torch player on their side. They wanted to ban out the torch as early as possible because they know that Zephyr, they have a pretty strong torch player on their end. Spider-Man was saved out. Immediate Venom will be taken out, but Beans is also one of those Spider-Man players that loves to play that Spider-Man even without that team up. He is very potent and powerful at that very singular instance. Saving up on the healer, not really that big on a surprise. A couple of bans here for the side of Wolverine as well. They want to make sure that they can match their Groot as much as they possibly can to their opposition. The draft really looking to be in the favor of BelikeXBE because they're playing for their comfort. Of course, again, J-Clo wins. He's just one of those Iron Fists that you never want to go up against. So Zephyr playing to those strengths to its well as Adlan immediately getting banned out on the Hulk as well because they know they can no longer save it. Adlan has been one of those players that has been terrorizing the entirety of the SEA servers with his Hulk. So knowing that Zephyr, they've done their homework, they have a pretty strong draft as well for their end, but it all will really depend on how good that Groot is going to be in this overall lineup. Psylocke getting banned out, I do believe this is to counteract any potential pickups from the Emma Mag and Emma Mag and a possible Psylocke coming through. So anything is possible here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, even if you get the perfect draft going for your team, it all depends on one particular thing and one thing only. It has to be that Groot 1v1. The Groot pretty much being that key factor that will pretty much gel this entire team together. And Adlan, he's picking up on this Emma because we have seen this. A lot of teams have strayed away from the usual composition of just having a Groot and Magneto on the team. And they're relying a little bit more on the other factors that will really push their team forward. Another really good highlight player that I would like to talk about has to be Fish. Fish is one of those Loki players that have pretty much taken over the entire game in more ways than one. In the entirety of SCA, a lot of players have started banning out on his Loki because of how much impact he can have in any particular game. But then again, don't forget about the side of Zephyr because they do have a pretty strong Luna player in the side of Pam. But even then, it's never going to be that easy. I do believe that Zephyr, their biggest weakness has to be the fact that they don't have a very strong rookie player on that roster. But playing more towards the side of comfort is a key importance, but going up against a player like Beans is just always a difficulty. Already fighting through early here. They're trying to make this engagement happen. And already, first initial shot, they're going to try to kill out on the rocket. Couple of investments here and there. Spider-Man's immediately going to be able to get out with the front line. Now holding down strong. Slux does understand that there is no Groot on the enemy team, so he can play the corner and slowly as much as he possibly wants. Doesn't really need to force the fight just yet. Alan, Diamond Form not in hand, so can't really go in as aggressive as he wants to. The Soul Wand's going to cause some problems, as he just needs to try and hold. Has the Diamond Form, misses out on the grab, and this is going to hurt his overall DPS a little bit here as the members of Zephyr, they're able to punch through the corner. Gale trying to look for a little bit of a shot, and he's going to be able to find a beautiful first kill. That's going to be the reset that they need. Adelin's going to be able to find another one. Solar gonna give him a little bit of extra damage, and Beans is just farming through the backline one after the other, creating the chaos and holding down the line. This is the beauty of BelikeXBE, ladies and gentlemen. Even though they don't have the best of cooldowns, their team synergy, especially when it comes to creating the chaos with that Spider-Man, is just sublime. Looking for a little bit of a pull here. Beans, he's not gonna be able to find it. Doesn't get a setup for his team, but he still creates a little bit of a distraction. Has a couple more seconds that he can go in for the hit, and he's able to find it. Backline completely in disarray. A couple of cooldowns getting pulled out, and that is Beans for you, ladies and gentlemen, causing the problem. But here comes a Groot ultimate. They're gonna be able to hold, but the amplifier stops everything in its tracks. Now it's Zephyr's turn to go in for this hit. Initially on the fight here, they're able to do a lot. First in the line, they're gonna be able to deal some damage. Going for the corner, Slux low on HP. Here comes the enemy Groot ultimate, ladies and gentlemen. And Lizzo able to hold things down on the line. This is the play that they needed. But now with the support ults coming in from either side, this is where the problems start to lie. Adlin utilizing the ultimate from the Emma to really hold everything down. Get the push going back in their favor. Immediately put a stop to what Zephyr was trying to cook up. And this is the proper utilization of those ultimates as well. And you can see that Fish didn't even go in for an overcopy just yet. So he still has a support ultimate up against the side of Zephyr. This is so smart coming out from them overall. And this beauty of the gameplay is where we really need to go. Beans does get caught out in towards the open. Does have the support ultimate to use. But a beautiful ult coming through from the Emma of Zephyr. He's going to be able to stop the Loki ult from getting any form of value. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the members of Zephyr, they should be able to get this first hit. If the cancel does not happen from the Iron Fist, the kick is going to be a key factor for all of this. But he's not going to be able to do much. A couple of seconds left, but he's not going to be able to make it, ladies and gentlemen. The touch comes through from Beans, but I do believe it's a little bit too little too late. Now stuck on this range for a little while longer, I would say, until his first death here again. And with that, the members of XBE, they're just going to try to play this one slow. Slow and steady, wins the race as Beans, now already looking for this hit, does have the Spider-Man ultimate to try and give him a little bit of an opening edge here. Finds the angle, gets the first hit. The ultimate could be coming through, but he doesn't want to utilize it just yet. Knows it could be dangerous. He needs his team to really go in for the setup. The Groot ultimate now fighting it big. Hale's going to be able to find one and one after the other. The players are now in shambles. Beans going for the hit. He's going to be able to find it. And this is the Spider-Man, ladies and gentlemen, from the side of BelikeXBE. They win out of the fight on the basic utilization of one ultimate. And that is huge. Because the Spider-Man ultimate can charge up pretty quickly because of how active Beans is. He doesn't need to worry about it. And it's not really a winning key factor for a lot of these fights. It has to be Slux. Having the Groot on their side is massive, but Zephyr, they do have their ultimates online as well. There's a lot more to worry about from the other side of the spectrum. They try to go in for the block, but the Groot ultimate completely getting taken off the table. That was a perfect block coming in as well. That's Vigo already going in for the Shambles play. They're going to be able to find it a little bit more. So they're going to be able to find a little bit of a hold, but they need to find more. The plays are good. The ultimate coming through from both sides of the Luna, but I do believe that they have a little bit more of a better ultimate. BelikeXBE pop there's one a little bit later, and Zephyr, they're gonna need to try and go in for a little bit more of an opening. Backed up from either side, they're gonna be able to find the heals, and now the Demise being able to give them the opening that they need. Convergence is going to give them a lot of space to play around with. Fish already with the big setups on either side, but this Iron Fist causing some problems from their side. Punching through, holding down the line one after the other. The punches are beautiful, and the Iron Fist just tearing through their back line as if they are a knife cutting through butter. This is just cleanup now for the side of Zephyr. They just need to hold for as long as they possibly can. The resets are there. Everything in their favor. The members of XBE, now they need to use this Agamotto to its fullest. Doesn't have the teleport to try and maybe go in for a big setup. Cannot fly over the wall either. So they're just completely screwed and walled off. Beans is going to be able to find something at the bare minimum, but even then, just gets immediately cut off. Good healing overall to stop the Spider-Man ultimate from getting a lot of value, but the Eye of Agamotto going in strong, but Demise is still able to find the picks, and one after the other, the members of BelikeXBE, they're able to flood in towards the side. The group walls were not as perfect as you would have hoped for, but Slux coming in clutch there with the Groot ultimate to converge everyone into one singular position. The teamwork, coordination, and synergy working strong for them, and Adeline finally swapping off the Strange. Remember, Strange in this current meta, not really the strongest character that you want to have on a particular team, but overall, they're still able to hold everything down. 36 seconds still left on the clock to try and end off this first half, ladies and gentlemen. You can see that the Iron Fist trying to go in for a bit of a touch here. He's not going to be able to find out much just yet. Holding down the line, going in for the push. You can see that the members of Zephyr, they are suffering a little bit with their support line. Not having the Loki can always cause problems for you when an enemy has a player that can really utilize this character to its fullest, while you cannot. And with that, I do believe this is where the play could just be ending out for them if they're not careful. Spider-Man does come through to go in for the touch, but Beans is not giving it up for him. Spidey dip indeed. Captain America comes out as well, but it is just not going to be enough. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, first half already done and dusted. The members of XBE holding down strong and almost losable round, mind you, but Slux coming in clutch with a Groot ultimate just changed the entire tide of that battle. But going into the second half, I don't believe that the members of XBE will be going in for any form of big changes, but what I do expect is Zephyr going in for a bit of a change, especially with Pam Pam now picking up the Cloak and Dagger. Yes, the Cloak and Dagger ultimate can give you a lot of value in a lot of ways when you think about it, because of one key factor. It is the... sorry, I'm lost in my thought for a second. It is pretty much the fact that they don't have a Magneto on the enemy team. And without the Magneto, it's gonna be big for them. If there's a possible swap towards that Magneto, it's going to reduce a lot of their much more aggressive potential that they have with the M ultimate going out for them. Especially with the M ult, you can cancel out an entire ultimate outright, because if you time it well enough when the support ult is just about to end and you have proper line of sight, this is what a lot of the top players are doing. Specifically, Adelan does this quite often. He tries to scout out where the other support is and position himself in that exact position while his own Luna ult or his own support ult is going through, so that he can easily catch them. But analysis is one part, but they have to worry about the other. Beans, I do believe, is gonna have a fun time here. Already looking to go in for the first initial duke here, but no way. Trying to hold down the line for as long as he possibly can. Still goes in for the head. The pull is beautiful. You're going to be able to catch out the Magneto, completely waste out his cooldown. The kick is perfect. He's already in the back line. The freeze is even more beautiful. Chain stone and kill. That's Zephyr. Already losing out on their first player. BelikeXBE. Still being the absolute menaces to society as they normally are. Group balls are perfect as well. They blocked off all of the lines and they are just holding W forward. Nothing will stop them. This is a team playing coordination that you wouldn't expect, ladies and gentlemen. And the Magneto dying like that, he's gonna have nightmares for it for sure in the night. Beans does fall, so that's gonna give the members of Zephyr a little bit of a chance to really get this walk up forward and get a tiny bit more space, but things are never that easy now, is it? They need to go in for the fight, and they should be able to. No way, trying to hold down the line, but immediately gets caught off. Adelan just sending him back into Narnia. And one after the other, the members of XBE still holding down strong. They're just W-king their way up with 5 minutes left on the clock now. Already the first point captured. They're doing it all, but it seems as though Beans, he's gonna get caught out with a Spidey dip. Wins, showcasing the fact that he's just not an Iron Fist player, but he can also play anything that you throw at him. Doing well here for this overall engagement. They're gonna need to try and maybe go in for another push. You can see that the Spider-Man ready for the hit, but he's just probably not gonna be able to get out. The heals does save him at the very last second. Proper ultimates though in the hands of BelikeXBE. They have almost everything to play around with. I'm pretty sure there's slots. He's looking for the Groot ultimate. This looks like to be a juicy one. That 3 players completely caught off, but he's no one really to follow up. Better support ultimate though in the hands of Zephyr, so they can delay this for as long as they possibly want, ladies and gentlemen. They have the hold, they have the plays, and they have the timing. Adelan, little bit of a wasteful ultimate from his side. He wanted to maybe catch out a couple of them, but the kiting is just beautiful from the side of Zephyr. They're able to hold. They have their own spider ultimate to maybe go in for something big. No way, not gonna be able to hold, and he does get caught out by Adelan, who can damage through that ultimate, ladies and gentlemen. And one after the other, they just keep on falling like flies. Wins all the way back in Narnia. He's not going to be able to do anything at the push. Working wonders for them. Keeping on the move. And the beautiful pull comes through as well. Beans cancels the ultimate. And that is going to be BelikeXBE taking the first map to their name. And ladies and gentlemen, XBE just showcasing their dominance with 3 minutes 50 seconds left on the clock to end off map number 1 in this BO3 to see exactly who will be the ones to move forward into the quarterfinals.